basically what this year's been about. It's had to break us out of the mold we put ourselves in, bust out of it, step back before we can step forward. Hi and welcome to my channel, Pretty Pink Soul Movement. I'm Michelle Cool, and today I'm doing a video on the spiritual evolution of 2020 and the introduction into 2021. There's been a lot of spiritual lessons that we scheduled ourselves to learn this year, and what I'm feeling is if we can just make this more general and easy to comprehend, there's two streams of people, right? So this year there's been a definitive split between the timelines, right? And timelines are basically choices that we want to make when we literally inside ourselves, not me just saying, oh, I just want to make a change. Bing, oh, look at me, look where I'm at now. It's more from deep within your soul. If you've processed enough of your past, you would have been able to basically make a decision inside yourself. So say soon as the outbreak of the beginning of this year happened, you would have been either residing in love and compassion and strength, or you would have headed straight into fear. So that would have been an indication of, the rest of your year, basically. It was setting your intention for the rest of the year and how you're going to evolve and grow. And some people got out of that fear. The people that kept away from media and from all those negative stories, and it's basically the spiritual people like you that can actually think for themselves, that can say, okay, I'm going to research this, and actually the flu is more prominent than what they're saying the statistics for this new outbreak to be, which as far as I know is still the case, well, at least on my timeline, right? So so we've got those people that chose to step out of the fear, and those are the people those are the light workers, those are the ones that are teaching love and standing up for yourself, and just sort of butterfly go past, and in a transition period to help people through the light at the end of the tunnel. Basically, you're the light at the end of the tunnel, and you had been stepping more into your power this year. So it was really I think for a lot of people, when you think of the collective, it was very touch and go. It was very, we had to really sit in fear in a way, because, even myself, right? The biggest fear of them all, not having toilet paper, like, and I think some people were scared of utilities being cut off and just not even being able to have food. There was that fear there. It's crazy times, and it just shows how people react badly to situations. It wasn't even really a massive thing on a global scale to look at it if you step away from the media. They're the people that rushed out and just bought everything, and there was no need because there was no shortage, right? Which most of us knew beforehand. But anyway, I digress. So this year, I'm just like in such a pondering, reflecting mode, I know that years are just set up by us as humans just to have some sort of gauge around time frames and stuff. But as spiritual people, we don't really go like that, do we? We don't really follow the whole year to year end thing. We are more into our cycles, right? Like the moon cycles and things like that. But however, we're still humans, so we just do a recap on the year and just very, very reflective on it. And I know it always goes fast, but hasn't this one gone fast? Like there's been so much dark that's been brought up to the surface, not just individually, like collective darkness. And as I say that, the sun's come out a lot brighter. It's actually raining here today, but still humid. There's a lot of light being shed on the darkness of the world as a collective, and who needs to step out of leadership, and people like you that need to step into their own leadership. and become their own leader and their own master, and to hand down what you've learned so far to those who need to listen to you, right? So that's another big thing. I think this year people have started to feel the call more to share their story and to share what they've learned, and to delve more into their spiritual practices, and also to delve more into you know, who did I come here to be, and stepping more into the power of that, instead of feeling helpless, like, oh, I'm frustrated, bloody just someone, I'll pay for a reading, someone tell me. It's never going to work like that, and you probably already know that. It's like a process that needs to unfold in its own time, and not, you know, in its spiritual time, and not in its egoic time, you know, which is where we were before. We were like, I'm running out of time. There, you know, time doesn't matter. And I know it's easier to say that, but you don't, when you actually step back from how you're feeling, you know that time is just, there's no difference. You're not going to miss out on anything. Whatever's meant to come to you will come to you. You'll be guided at every step of the way. Like even me yesterday, like I've had this stronghold over me for the whole year, because I wasn't listening, you know, to what my guides had to say. They're like, slow down, rest, stop giving your time and energy away. This is about focusing on you this year. And hasn't it been for everyone, right? And me having too much Virgo in my chart, and I love overdoing, and I gave too much. I gave my power away by doing that, you know. And it led me to feel lost, because I'm like, okay, so I've started to build, you know, what I call my little empire. And now all of a sudden you're telling me to withdraw that. So this year has been also about stepping back from the path you are on. It was more about soul alignment and pushing your priorities, like your soul priorities before your mind's priorities. And that is the biggest message I'm getting for the whole world being shut down. It's like, what is your priorities? Like some people with, you know, children and families and stuff, like that, those are more your priorities. Some people thinking, oh my God, I was working too much, I was doing too much, you know, or I was going to the gym too much, I was too focused on the perfect body. But like, what I really love and what's important to me is my family. Do you know what I mean? It's or how can I incorporate exercise with my family now, instead of just staring at myself in the gym in the mirror? Work out, you know. And it's just, everyone had to step back, go, okay, this was the path I was on, things have been shut down, what's my soul priorities, what do I really need to focus on? And it's never going to be the big thing, you know. Example, I'll use myself again because that's all I got. You know, my priority was pushing out, you know, I really wanted to get my YouTube views up and subscribers and stuff. That was like my big goal, but that was my ego goal, my mind's goal, you know. That wasn't what my soul wanted. My soul wanted to be alone. It wanted to contemplate. It wanted to sit and play with cards. It wanted to like be around nature. It wanted to go for walks. It, you know, wanted to create artwork. It wanted to make the house look beautiful. You know, though that was my priority. It was for me, you know, to make me happy, make my life better. That's what my soul wanted, nurturing and care. It didn't want me to burn myself out making videos and everything else. Like the time the videos created is nothing compared to the stuff that has to go on before and after. It just keeps going, as well as trying to have clients, and then, you know, sometimes working as well, like in an office or whatever. Like it was too much, you know. And so this year is all about stop what you're doing, step back, reflect on where you need to go. A lot of us needed to rest because we've been dealing with so much, you know, to do with past lifetimes healing, which is, I've said before, so again, you know, that's what this lifetime is about, clearing all that karma. So stuff like that may still come up for you. Lots of vivid dreams, like Pisces is still in Neptune. There's a lot of vivid dreams. And the message I'm getting right now, excuse me, is dreams are always cryptic, basically. It's never, you know, say if you have a dream about someone in the office, you work in an office or whatever, and you're getting it on with them. That's, you know, I'm sure everyone's had those dreams. It doesn't really mean that it doesn't mean you're meant to be together. Like, obviously it's in your subconscious, but there'll be other lessons in there. Like, maybe you're picking the same people as you always do, and the dream is like a warning. It's like, hey, I'm bringing this from your subconscious to your conscious, and don't keep doing the same things you're always doing, you know, which is basically what this year's been about. It's had to basically break us out of the mold we put ourselves in, bust out of it, step back before we can step forward into our, you know, co-created future. If I could edit better, I would edit that bit out and put that at the beginning of the video. Or maybe I will, I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out. I'll see how I feel. So, breathe a sigh of relief. A collective sigh of relief. Whew. Let it out, you know, and you can make a list of the things that you've realized this year, or what you've given up, or what you've reintroduced. It's just good to do a written reflection tool on that. And where you've released control over situations, because a lot of us have not had, you know, we've never had really control over our life, right? We're so just directed by spirit. And if we're going in the wrong direction, that's when a tower moment will happen, like something, you know, critical, or we deem critical, or shocks us, like the situation just changes so quickly. That's the universe's way of saying, hey, pull your finger out, you're not on the right path, right? So it was like a collective pulling out of the finger. I was told recently, I think that's an Australian term, people don't understand what that means. Pull your finger out just means, like, you know, get your head out of your ass. I don't know if that's another Australian term. You know, look where you're going, pay attention. Oh no, I know they do slang dictionaries, but when you grow up here, you don't really obviously hear or see sayings any different. Let me check on my notes. So another good thing to write down would be, you know, how have you grown this year? What areas have you grown? What you've realized, what you've loved, what you haven't loved. But I feel like for a lot of us, what we hated at the beginning of the year, our whole perception has changed like towards the end of the year. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I get it now. And it's that whole hindsight thing, right? When you're in a situation, you're like, oh my God, it's in the world. And then, you know, months later, you're like, actually, I can see why that happened. And I needed that to happen. And I really growed from that whole situation. And we need to go, and you obviously, I think you already are, but I need to say it. We need to, we've left that place of my mind, my ego needs to control every little single aspect of our life. It's gone to, I have no control. You know, it's like letting a dog off a leash, like, you know, they bolt if they're not trained right. So we've let ourselves off that leash, and then we're more like, you know, free flowing, and we're hearing spiritual guidance. You know, we're listening to more of our spiritual team, and what they want us to do, actually being guided by them rather than being guided by our egos and our minds and what we want to do, what we think we need to do, you know. And like in this moment, there's nothing else that you need to do right now other than just, if you're enjoying it, listening to this and liking it, commenting and sharing if you really, really liked it. That would be awesome. Yeah, and health has been a big thing too. Focusing more on, you know, fueling our vessel in healthy ways. I mean, I don't want to get too conspiracy theory, but there's ones I'm hearing, and I didn't really want to like feel in it too much about the whole, I don't even know if I can say it, be brave. I've heard it, I listen to other people as well, other videos, other YouTubers that I respect, talking about, now I don't know if this is just America, because I know that place is crazy. I hope they don't do that in Australia, because I think we're a bit stricter on our standards. But this lady was saying about the aborted fetuses and how they're like sold to franchises so we can consume them. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I still do eat meat sometimes. I really don't want to. I'm really getting put off it even more and more. But that, saying that, just like, I don't know if you've heard it. Let me know if you've heard that in the comments before, but oh, that just makes me feel ill. I mean, that's enough to put you off it, hey? Not that, you know, humans are any different to animals, really, when you think about it. At the end of the day, it's like we're both living beings. Just because we can talk and build things doesn't make us more valuable than, you know, a cow. But anyway, that just made me feel so sick. And I'm really seeing things differently. I'm being asked to use these cards. But I had more things to say. Do what I'm told. Do what I'm told. Hiccup. Whew. Should I take these? Yes, I shall. Circles. Oh my God, check out this. So this one says circles, and this one is like literally like a circle, which is like what this year was all about. Circles, clarity begins in the eye of the storm. Isn't that basically what we've had? We've been receiving our clarity through chaos. And I think that's just amazing. If you don't follow me on Instagram, check out my stories. I've been feeling more able to write. And it's funny, like the whole pullback and reassessing thing has made me see that my vision when I first started on my journey 8 years ago, I had a vision there. I was told part of what I needed to do, and I see now that I've pulled back how I wasn't following my true vision, my soul vision, and I got caught up too much into the commercial side of things, that aspect, you know, which will come in due time, but you know, that's something that we need to kind of settle, I guess, you know, December, early next year too. I'm hearing March, April is clarify your soul vision, because that's going to help you set up a better foundation for 2021. So next year is definitely all about refocusing on our soul purposes, my bad. But basically there'll be, you know, every year it's like we get a little, okay, download, message. Okay, every year we get a set goal working on, you know, human time. Okay, here's another one of your purposes, Michelle. This is the thing you need action as priority this year. You get 2, you get 3, but right, they're just trying to piecemeal us at the moment because we get too overwhelmed. So they go, here you go, this is the thing you need to focus on. It's like planning in your, you know, it's in your soul. And then the soul plants in your subconscious, and the universe and your guides try to help you with that. So that's what's going to happen next year. You'll get your new one, but they want you first to get clear on your path, and actually to clear your path so you've got the time and the space to hear the messages. Because some of us, especially around this time of year, if you can avoid it, just don't get caught up in the commercial aspect of Christmas. You know, a lot of people say, if you believe in, you know, Jesus and stuff like that, he was a Piscean, so it's got nothing to do with December, you know what I mean? And it's gone from, you know, it's great, like you hang around your family, I get that, like if it's a great time for you, but it's really stressful for a lot of people, for most people. There's like limited money to go around, plus there's more things to buy, and then everyone just like stuffs themselves, and there's way too much food, and there's so many presents that people just take for granted. Like the whole thing, to me, I don't even bother celebrating it. I'm not interested. I mean, I enjoy the time off as a rest time, have some me time, but try not to get caught up in that, the commercial aspect of things, and remember what it's about, what makes it special for you. Because collective stress at this time, blah. So try to clear your energy before we go into next year, and clear your path as much as you can. If you can't do it around Christmas, that's fine, whatever, you know, but make that a focus, because you won't be able to have messages come in and guidance come in if you keep yourself too busy. So amazing. Here we go. Wishful expectations. Acknowledge the smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. See, I see this as, you know, this wheel she's on is like another cycle too, but she looks like she's changed. Even her feet. And it looks like she has no control, but she does. She could get out if she wants. She could call for help. She could call for help. It looks like she's about to go in the water. I just feel like with this card, you know, some of you feel like, or perhaps this year felt like you were about to sink, but you didn't. You know, you've got more options than you think you do. Even if you don't see what your options are, they'll always come. Remember, the wheel keeps spinning, the wheel keeps turning. And they're showing me just one of those movies where you think, oh my God, like if this was a movie, see how she's like about to roll down into the water. There's nothing that she could do about it. She's like given up. But when you give up and you surrender sometimes as well, that's when help comes in. And I don't think anyone would surrender enough to like not be screaming before they go in, right? So there's two options. You ask for help or you surrender to the universe if you know, can't receive the help you need from the 3D world or from people. I feel like there's more to that. I know what we will do. This one. Please clarify wishful expectations. I love how it's talking about cycles, and then we've got two cards that are about cycles and circles. Getting off the wheel. Stop wishing for the same things. We've got time. Oh, influence. I really feel like a lot of the people here are going to be big influences. And it doesn't have to be like millions of people that you can change the life of. Even if you have a couple listeners, you know, you need to start somewhere. And also I keep hearing it's not a numbers game. So start somewhere. Like I know even a couple years ago when I first started out, and, you know, I guess people, some of them looked to me to see what did I do to get where I was, you know, and at the time, well, you know, I was like, I'm not really anywhere. But anyway, to someone just starting out, it looked like I was like, I don't know, making it or whatever, however you want to perceive it. And it's like you just start and you just commit to it and you just follow through with what you want to do. And, you know, you just keep sharing it and you just keep going, you know, and then the numbers increase and more people listen and stuff like that. But it's not about that. Like some of you might even just have like a small group. And I'll say it again, like Instagram is much better than Facebook. Facebook seems to censor more. Instagram has more reaches. I think when I first started on Facebook, and I think when I started my business page, and I was sharing to all these pages, and I think it was like 15,000 people reached in 1 week, some of my posts. And then I got shut down after that, and, you know, if I'm really lucky, which I'm not anymore, like I'd reach 5,000-6,000 people. In the grand scheme of the world, it's not that big, but, you know, it's very limiting, Facebook. I just don't like it at all. Instagram's better. I'd like to focus more on Instagram if I were you. For those people that are wanting to share their message anyway. Okay, so I was trying to clarify the Wishful Expectations card. It's about time. Again, how we see time, you're not behind time. So please try to let that go. Do a little candle lit ritual tonight or before the new year. It's perfect time to let go of time, you know. I'm sure none of you bother with New Year's resolutions because they're a pile of crap. You're just setting yourself up for failure. If you can't commit to something now, being in New Year's, it's not going to make any difference. Time doesn't exist. And this is definitely the influencer card. This is like for next year, some of you will be more committed to being an influencer in whatever area that you want to promote, you know, your health or any healing modality, technique that you use, public speaking, sharing your message. It's so important, whatever, you know, aspect you're working with, like any soul work that you're doing, you need to share what you're doing so other people can be inspired. You know, the people that are like, oh, I don't know if I should. And they'll be looking at you and saying, how did you get, you know, to where you are? And you're like, I've only got, you know, 30 people, say if you start a business page or whatever. I got 35 people on my page. What do you mean? Like, but, you know, to someone that hasn't started, they're looking up to you, you know. So it's just like a constant stream of people. People keep going, people keep going. You know, I look at YouTube people and they've got 1 million subscribers, right? And I'm just like, that's amazing. That will never happen to me. But they started somewhere. They started somewhere. And, you know, the more they keep committing to it or following their truth, or, you know, when you've got 1,000% intention, you'll always get what you need. You're going to get. There may be deviations along the way. And I feel like that's, until we're like in proper alignment, that's what's going to happen, okay? So they're basically showing me a maze, and it's like, you know, dead end. And then you're like, you bounce off that wall and you hit another dead end and you're like, oh my God. And then you bounce, like, but you go a little bit further this time and you're on a different angle and you bounce off that wall and you're like, Jesus. And then you're going a bit further and you're bouncing off another. You're going to be redirected. You're going to be like a bit of a ping pong. Bing, 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 bing. But you're going to get there, right? You just keep going up. You'll get there, but you're going to be redirected. Okay? Well, that's exciting. I still don't feel like I'm getting the proper message for this one. Wishful expectations, clarify yourself. Okay, so it is to do with, okay, the people wanting to start out something. All right, because so I've just kind of explained that indirectly, because you want to see where you want to go and you want to be at your end goal now. And it's, we don't believe in time, but then we do at the same time, right? It takes time. That's why that story was coming up. Well, no, that makes sense. It takes time, so don't get too overwhelmed. Surrender to chaos, but don't surrender to, you know, your dream. But then also your dream needs to be adjusted along the way. Oh, so cryptic. Okay, so I'm getting like, you get me though, even though that sounds really confusing, because life is just a paradox anyway. You know, there's never one answer for anything. And we're literally in a higher vibration, so we understand these concepts more and we accept them more. You know, whereas before, if someone kept telling me, oh, you're gonna just keep bouncing off walls until you get to the right spot, that would just demotivate me, and I probably wouldn't have made an effort. But now I'm just like, well, yeah, because I've been through that. Yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, so what? It's just like any other day. But now I understand the concept behind what's happening, which makes it easier for me to let go, release, and just go, okay, well, now I'm over here. Well, now I'm over here. Well, now I'm going over here. And I'm just rolling with it. You know, we're in a feminine flow out of, you know, that old way of being. Oh yeah, I like that better. Thank you. Whew, got there. Isn't it funny how you can channel the message, but my mind was trying to understand it and couldn't understand it. Okay, so I did pull some astrology cards, and funnily enough, one of them came out was solar eclipse. You know, and we're in the eclipse season now. I think it was scheduled. I've actually been keeping away a bit from all the moon cycle things. I feel very strongly connected to the moon, and I know that's where I started, but I'm being guided away from that for now, because it was literally stressing me out. I don't like being on a strict schedule. I like being in flow more, but obviously with the cycles of the moon, I had to be on a stricter schedule for doing videos and stuff, and I don't like that. Like, I'm stepping away from that. Might pick it up later. Doesn't really matter. For now, I'm just doing it on topics I feel really excited about, and I like variety and stuff like that. So we'll see. But anyway, so I'm not up on the eclipses. I think we actually have one from the time I'm filming this. I think we actually have a solar eclipse, which is hilarious. So funny, not funny, but it came up in the cards. Revolution, I feel like that's what this year's been about. You know, we've got kind of three sides to this year. It's been people that are like no, I'm not going to be silenced by the government. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Because wearing a mask is just basically saying, it's like, I don't get to speak. I'm just going to listen to someone else, and next minute you're hurled off to a Nazi camp and you're being gassed. You know what I mean? Like, it's very controlling energy, so it's forced a revolution of people and of our rights, like to take away our rights is just terrible. And that's the worst intrusion on anyone's life that you could do, is to take away their freedom. So it's a lot of fighting for freedom. It's a lot of like Uranus energy, revolutionary energy, Aquarius energy, Sagittarius, about freedom and getting that freedom and speaking up for your truth. It's not about endangering other people's lives, not about that. It's about having the freedom. Having the freedom to express yourself and to, choose not to wear a mask. I was listening to another lady and she was saying, she can go to the movie cinemas, but I think they have to, where she lives, they have to wear masks, whereas we don't have to do that where I live. And she's like, I love the movies, but I'm just going to stay at home in my own and watch a movie in my own home theatre system because I refuse to wear a mask. And I'm like, good for you. If I was put in that position, I'd do the same thing. I'm quite happy keeping away from people, because that's how much she wants her freedom. She's not going to be covered up by a mask, which is unhealthy and proven to not help anyway. So, we had the people that are free thinkers and have the ability to do their own research. That has just flared up this year, like flared up massively. And that's what we needed. We needed something big for people to take a stand and say, no, we're not doing this. Whew, heavy. It's that Leo energy. It's that like, no, I'm a roaring lion and you're not going to hold me back or tell me what to do. I will rip you apart. I'll rip you apart. And you get those people that are assholes. Like I remember seeing, was it March or April, some butthole like spat on some oranges and someone like literally KO'd him. You're going to get those stupid people that are so basically, I'm not going to say the word, so 90s. But, they're just stupid. They just don't think. You've got those people that are severely neglectful, but then you've got other people like, there's no need for my mask. I'm clean, I wash my hands, I don't sneeze on people. I can be out in society and be a normal person, And you've got those people that they're always going to do bad things no matter what. You can't control people. They will always do stupid things, So it's just mitigating those risks, really. So there's a mixed bag of people. And there's people that are sitting, sorry, I said before, there's three types of people. There's people that sit on the fence. They go, oh, yeah, I kind of want my freedom, but I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm just going to sit here. And that's fine too. You ain't hurting anyone. Okay. So, very powerful energy this year, and I love it. When you're starting to stand and walk into your truth, we've got Jupiter here, which Jupiter's like just gone into Aquarius, like praise the Lord. Actually, Saturn and Jupiter, they both just gone into Aquarius, and that's about literally the freedom and the revolution. Like, they've been in Capricorn, I don't know how long. They're both in Capricorn, and that's why we've seen, well, part of the reason why we've seen so many changes to the way things have been done. So I feel like the energy will ease off for a little while. I'm hearing for like the next few months. But because we've done this hard work, we've done this speaking our truth, it doesn't matter if it's not someone else's truth. If you're speaking your truth, that is what matters. I literally just wrote on this yesterday as well. Because that's why you're here, to speak your truth, to live from your soul, not for anyone else's. And because of speaking truth, like we're finally going to see some benefits start to come through. I just saw a little orby light as a confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. That's the other thing. We're so guided. We're surrounded. Even like I live by myself and I love it. But the amount, I've got a small house, but the amount of like angels and archangels and ascended masters and my guides, my ancestors that hang out here, like I don't feel alone. I don't feel alone, you know, one bit. Like I'm so supported. I'm so lucky. I'm so supported. And plus I'm like, you know, I'm a Pisces, so I pick up too much. I need to recharge my energy, you know. Maybe you can relate to that. I don't know why I'm talking about that. But anyway, yeah, we're always supported. There's always support around you. So always ask for help if you need it. But yeah, I really feel like for the ones of us that have had like a tough slog, like the last 3 years, like it's been really tough going. Things are starting to free up because we're getting off that wheel and the old way that we've done things for too long. The old way society doesn't work. The old way we've been programmed. We've, you know, changed how we perceive things, how we look at things, how we react to things. You catching being in the same patterns. Like the universe is, you know, sounds a bit harsh, but it does. It tests us. It's like, can you graduate to the next level? Can you graduate to the next school year? Do you know what I mean? Well, you got to pass these tests. Show me that you're not going to pick the same partners that you have the last 20 times. You know, just using that as an example. Show me that you're going to commit more fully to and listen to what your soul wants. Well, you're going to take the time out to do that. And then we can guide you forward, and then more opportunities will come, because opportunities won't come if you're not in alignment. If you're not withdrawing and going, okay, I need to reflect on this and take as much time as I need, because it's not about rushing to get that answer. It's about honoring yourself, your soul, your ancestors that are here to support you. The reason why you're here, honoring that, so you can move forward in soul alignment and not in ego disalignment, you know. Can you do that? Can you do that? You can. Thanks for joining me. I am thinking about doing what should I focus on 2021 video. I'm not sure if to do it by star signs, so everyone can watch their sun, moon and rising, or to just pick a card. So if you do have preferences, note them below, and don't forget to check out my last few videos. Help support my channel, and, you know, share it when you can. And, you know, thanks for joining me again. And it's nice to be back. I do advertise stuff on Facebook, but people are messaging me. I'm not answering. Like, I'm not talking to people. Facebook is a cesspool. So you send me a message and I don't respond. I don't want to talk to people at the moment. I'm so friendly, I know, but I just really need to, I'm still processing a lot, and I just want to spend a lot of time alone, so I don't want to be on social media all the time, so please don't be upset. But yeah, I need to protect my energy and my time and my peaceful space, because if I can't be centered and grounded, I can't, you know, help other people, and that's what my sole priority, and that's what I'm here to do. So thank you so much for joining me, and take care. Speak soon. Bye.